Do you want to know how to audition? Like book all the jobs?
Yes.
You ready for it?
Yes.
Don't audition. Okay, what does that mean? It got really quiet. No, you want to learn how to actually overcome this thing called auditioning? Well, what's the key? Don't audition. What do you think that means? It's really about changing what you think auditioning is. If you start to see it not as an audition, and if you start to go in, which is really, this is what it is anyway. All it is we, the casting director, the director, the producer, whoever it is, we want to see you interpret. How do you want to interpret this role? So that's the key. How do you get this whole thing about auditioning out of it and give yourself the permission to be like, hello, this is how I choose to, this is how I see this role. This is what I can bring to this. You know, the interesting thing about auditioning, think about it. You're interpreting things constantly on a daily basis, but you don't really think about it that way because you're just bringing yourself to it. You're making a salami sandwich. Are you interpreting it vis-a-vis the, you know, gluten-free bread, asking the gluten-free bread how you're doing? No. Do you interpret taking? No. You just do it. You just do it your way. So why is it that when we come to auditioning, well, I know why. Because we're so concerned with the perception. The perception. What do they think? Is this right? You guys, we have to kill, you have to kill that, whatever that thing is. When you go into the audition, and we were just talking about stuff, but energetically what I was getting from this person, when you go into an audition, not giving yourself the permission to do it your way, energetically, it's going to read as wah, wah. That's it. Because 100 other actors who are going in for the same role are just going to do it the way they think these people are looking for. And you know what happens? Womp womp. The only person that actually books or gets a callback or you get positive response is the person who does it their way. And you know, that's so simple and subtle, but that's so hard because we're so trained to give people what we think they're looking for. And I keep saying it over and over and over again, nobody knows what they're looking for. You don't know what you're looking for. How many times do you have, I know exactly what I want in a date, and that person lines up and they have everything on your checklist, and then what happens? Wah, wah. I'm not interested. Huh? Isn't that interesting? Well, why is that? Well, it's an energetic thing. It's a vibrational thing. You're picking up on things that are not just this stuff. Get what I'm saying? You know, I think the thing is, if you begin to think about, I'm going to do it, I'm coming in today and I'm doing this my way, and they've never seen your way. That's what's beautiful about it. If you can get your head around that. They have never seen it your way. So you've already got a 50-50 chance of getting it right. If you just come in, and when I mean getting it right, I just mean if your essence is a match to the role, you're going to get the job. But you already kind of take yourself out of the running when you don't give yourself the permission to do it your way. The physics of it are not complicated. What makes acting, auditioning, the whole process of acting more of a mind than it needs to be is you doubt your own way of doing it. Now, part of that is technique. Yeah, of course, you have to have technique. You have to be what I started the lecture on about. You have to be emotionally available. If you're not emotionally available, there's going to be nothing going on. If there's nothing going on, they can't hang a hat on you. So that I get. But when you have stuff going on, then how do you give yourself the permission to unapologetically, this is who I am? You know, and then it becomes about, it's not about you didn't get the job. I suck. I'm moving back to Milwaukee. I can't do it. It's like, oh, that was really fun. I had a great time. Oh, I didn't get that. Oh, they gave it to somebody who's 6'4", which actually leads me to something else. One of my students just went in for something, and he went to callbacks for something, and he called afterwards. I asked him how it went, and he was like, I didn't get it. And I was like, what? How do you know that? And he's like, oh, I looked around the room, and everybody else was like a different type. And I was like, okay, don't do that. First of all, just because you may have been the only type, maybe they were all 6'4" bald guys, and then my friend came in and is not that type. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get the job. That means the producers may have an idea of physically what they want this thing to look like, but then you go in and create your own thing, and then what happens? Oh, I didn't ever really think about it that way. Let's send your tape to producers. If I took all the women in here and put them aside, and I took all the men in here and put them aside, and I had you all get up and read for the same role and you did it your way, then really what would happen is the ones that, to me, I could send all of you. Maybe all of you do it so magnificently your own way, we send all of the tapes to producers. Then what happens, it has nothing to do with your work anymore. It's kismet. It has nothing to, you did your job. Now do they want African American? Do they want some Latina? Do they want maybe traditional blonde hair, blue eye? Who knows? But then you keep yourself in the running. But you already, you know, I think take yourself out when you compare and despair what you have no insight about. I just think the traps that you face in auditioning are not, they're here, like everything that I'm teaching. I always say this, and you guys probably already know the answer. Why is it that you book the things that you don't really give a rat's ass about? Yes, but why do you do your best job?
Because you don't care.
You don't care.
What? Be more specific.
You just decide to have fun.
You're free. You have fun. You're playing. What else?
You have no control. You just let go.
You let go of control. Doesn't mean you don't have control. It means you let go of control. What else?
You're unattached.
You're unattached. Which means you're not. Everybody looked at you like, oh, she got the right answer. See? That's how we are as human beings. Oh, she did it right. All my answers were wrong. No, they're all correct. Meaning you're in the moment, and you're playing in the moment, and you're not concerned with how am I being perceived? What do they think? Are they going to like me? Am I right for the job? Is my hair too long? Oh my God, my eyes are too close together. Oh my God, my beard, I should have shaved it. Or whatever crazy things we think that take us out. You actually are just playing moment to moment. And then what happens? Your agent calls you and they're like, oh my God, you got Friday the 13th, part 77. And you're like, no, I didn't want it. Right? That happens. And then what happens? You go in for CSI. Is that show still on?
Yes.
This shows you how much little TV I watch. You go in, and what happens? You attribute all this meaning to something that there is no meaning to it. Meaning, it's just a way for you to explore yourself just like any other opportunity. That's all it is. But you attribute it to, oh my God, if I don't do this, my agent's going to drop me. Oh my God. I'm getting callbacks, but I haven't booked. I have to do it. Oh my God. The producer, he does 10 other shows. Michael Bay. So you do another show? Whatever. Oh my God. See, that's what happens. Oh my God. So Spielberg's going to be in the room? Yeah, you see? That's what happens. So then, because the perception of what's happening in the room changes, you change what you want to do. Around. Next time. It's okay? Get what I'm saying? You can't change yourself for this. You can't, you guys. If you do, we'll see through you and we're not interested anyway. So that's all we have to keep trying to do, more and more. Just like life, just like in your work, just, you know, I think the interesting thing, it's just really not rocket science. The more you give yourself the permission, you know, my next book is coming out in November. I was telling Eric today, I was like, one of the chapters is entitled F*** It. And I was like, we should have just called the whole book F*** It. Because that's really it. When you're in a colossal F*** It, what happens? It's amazing. Like, divine providence moves in to assist you in all the things that you're desiring. Because you're absolutely in a let go. So, the more you can have a respectful F*** It. I'm not saying be disrespectful. You get what I'm saying when I'm using that word, F*** It. You're not attached to this out here.